how to avoid common problems, and how to extend the quality of life for your cherished companions. As a community advocate, I will also discuss important social issues that affect our city. I plan to showcase organizations and heroes who are doing amazing things to help others. Remember to tune in every Tuesday morning at 10, starting soon.
This is Miriam, and you're listening to KXVS, the voice of Stockton.
You know what I got? I got a picture of his face with the little pillow on, the sleep face, and we're in Chicago.
Are they already in Chicago? The one and only Leo Biaz. Hey, Leo.
I'm excited to be back, my man. It was 9 days in Vegas. We got stuck in the desert, and we had a little hangover remix out there, man.
I wore a wig to school once, and they said no headgear was allowed.
How did the
spider web
was it
tights.
obvious that it was a wig?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was having
a terrible
fun.
wig.
See, this is exactly why we have them on the show, and this is what makes them fun.
You're listening to KXVS, the voice of Stockton, 92.1 FM.
Attention, Stockton. Are you experiencing a transition in business, relationships, health, or your life purpose? I'm Darius Oliver, and I help people to look within and find clarity and direction in their constantly changing lives. Tune in and listen with me as I go deep into your patterns and personal cycles through divine numerology. Any life transition you're experiencing can be illuminated by an in-depth analysis of your chart. For the first time in Stockton, you now have access to a professional numerologist here to help you light your own way. I'm in the booth to help you find your own truth. Tune in to Divine Numerology every Friday at 3 p.m. on The Voice of Stockton.
My name is Josh, and you're listening to KXVS, the voice of Stockton, 92.1 FM.
The views and opinions expressed in the following program do not necessarily reflect those of KXVS, the voice of Stockton, or its parents, affiliates, management, and staff.
The voice of Stockton and the voice of San Joaquin present The Lance McCann Show with your host, Lance McCann.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the show. My guest today is Pedro McDougall. He is the Vice President of Premier Community Credit Union. And today we're going to be covering the topics of lending, differences between a credit union and a bank, and numerous off-topic subjects. So enjoy the show. Thank you, Pedro, for stopping by today. I appreciate you for coming in.
Well, thank you for inviting me. Appreciate it.
So, do you mind sharing a little bit about your, can't talk today, a little bit about your background? That way people know if you're qualified for this position.
Sure thing. My background is been in lending. I've been a lender for well over, we'll say about 18, going on 19 years. I've done everything from originations to underwriting, everything from commercial loans to residential. Specializing in the residential arena.
And how long were you underwriter for?
I underwrote, I want to say for the past, that was my last venture prior to becoming vice president. I underwrote for 5.5, 6 years.
Okay.
I started out underwriting different products. When I refer to products, I mean like FHA, conventional, those type of products.
So it's easy to say you know lending frontwards and backwards.
I know lending pretty decent. I know. I can say yes.
Cool. So you're the vice president of Premier, or vice president of lending at Premier Community Credit Union. Share with everybody a little bit about Premier and what they do and how they're centered in the community.
So Premier Community Credit Union, let me take it back a little bit here and kind of give you a little bit of a brief background on who they are. Premier Community Credit Union was established in 1931.
Oh, wow.
And it was established by a group of teachers, educators, that were struggling back in the day. Now I'm going to ad-lib this here. This is
okay. Not
that was struggling.
Don't quote me 100%, but it's close.
Yeah. They were struggling to get loans and get financing back in the day. So they put their monies together and they kind of started from there, and it took off from there. Premier Community Credit Union is a community credit union, but when it was started, it is a SEG. Meaning that they were a segregated group to educators.
Okay.
So we still actually, when it comes to educators, we still cater to the educators. We still do, things like from the payroll to, servicing that appetite. That's who we actually were founded by. That's who we work with. But we're opened up to the community.
Okay, that makes sense. When did that transition happen?
Oh, that's a good question. I want to say because there's been several transitions. Okay, we were schools.
I remember that.
So I want to say that sounds kind of terrible that I don't know that answer, but the reality is the changes took place. I want to say that was probably
10 years ago.
15 years ago. So
yeah, because I remember when it was schools, and then it transitioned to.
Yeah, that's the part of it that I'm not. I've done my research on them and kind of tried learning that.
But nobody asked you, when did that happen except for me, right?
Right.
So what is the difference between a bank and a credit union? They both lend money, but they operate under different guidelines and standards. So what does that look like to the general public?
That's a good question. Lance. I think I'm very well qualified. I've worked with both sectors. Okay, so at least from my point of view, the difference between a credit union and a regular financial institution, not to mention no names, is you're a member. You're a member. You are not
a number.
A number. Okay, for lack of better words.
Right.
You're actually a member, and your vote, your input is valued.
Interesting.
Yeah. So if I had to say the differences is, the big three financial institutions, again, no names, but they are more in the sector of open boarding. You're a number. Yeah. And where the credit union is more of a member. We know each other.
I got you.
We have relationships.
So it's a personal relationship with the members and the tellers, and hence the name community.
That's correct. That's correct.
That's interesting to know, because I even though I knew what a credit union was, I didn't know that we actually had, as a member, had a say or a vote in the organization.
That is correct. We have town hall meetings that all members can participate in.
Oh, wow.
And show up.
So can I vote myself alone?
Absolutely.
3%?
Absolutely. I won't go as far as say you can vote it in, but
I can bring it up.
But I'd like to ask you a question. Sure. Your wife's been a member for quite some time. How long have you guys been members of Premier?
Sure, I think probably 18 years when my wife became a teacher.
Yeah.
She she didn't have to, but it's one of those things where they suggest you do that.
Yeah.
So she's just been a member forever, and I recently become a member. And it's great. I mean, I love it. The customer service is good, and that's why I kind of knew about the transition, because you guys used to be on like the Inna Country Club for a long time.
Yeah, we did have a branch in there. That was before my time. I've been with Premier now going on 6 years, and that was before my time. But I heard that we had a branch in that location, the Country Club.
Nice. So what kind of changes have you seen in Premier since you've been there?
So let me back it up a little bit on the credit union world so you can kind of see. So the credit union world, a lot of people probably look at it as, which it was and still is, a primary source for auto loan funding.
Okay.
Okay. And what's happened is, with the changes and what's going on in dynamics and that kind of scope is kind of the layout, the law, things are changing.
The lay of the land
for lack of better words, things are changing.
My wife's first car loan was through the credit union.
Right.
They always suggest go to your credit union, you get a better interest rate.
Right. So with that said, the credit union, that used to be their bread and butter. All credit unions focused on auto lending. Unfortunately, with the change in times, Okay. We've had to expand and offer other products. Okay. So every credit union has kind of darted out to see what kind of products they're going to be offering. Commercial loans, visas and so on. All these different products. A lot of credit.
Small business
loans? Yes, we did do small business loans. We are not offering small business loans no more. That is not our niche.
Pain in the butt. That's what that means.
Yeah, no, we're actually where we're diving into real heavy in the changes that you're asking about. At least our credit union, we're getting real heavy in the real estate arena. Meaning that you have a lot of stuff that's out there, a lot of different entities, financial institutions that offer these products. But I think that what a credit union has is they still have that personal touch where people like to come in. Everything's being automized. You have other services out there where you can go online and offer these. But
when you have a problem with your loan, it's a 48-hour turnaround time.
You got it.
There's no immediate, hey, what's going on? Or
that's correct.
Leaving a message and getting an email or a call back in a couple hours. That's
correct.
Does not exist with the online mortgage industry.
Right.
Trust me, I know. I know too.
So yeah, those are the big changes in our arena and Premier. We offer government products, which are from FHA. We offer in-house products. So we offer everything that's out there.
What about rehab loans?
We have a product right now, a rehab loan that is a construction to perm. So we actually will do, a build out, your takeout, and then flip it over into a takeout. I apologize. Flip it over into a takeout loan after the construction's been completed.
And is this a FHA product or this is a Premier product?
This is a government product. I actually warehouse it and it gets sold.
Okay. The 203K.
Correct. It's something along those lines. It's just basically our niche, our product that we're rolling around. But it's a lot like a 203K. But also to the 203K is one for a rehab. This is actually a true construction loan flipped over into a 30-year fixed product.
Oh, okay. So you could go from land, or buy the land, pull the permit, build it out, and then turn it into a permanent mortgage.
That is correct.
Interesting, because I know there's a lot of banks out there that are not offering that product because there is actually at that moment in time when you buy the land, there is no collateral. There is no real estate. It's just dirt.
That is correct.
It's not worth much at that point.
That is correct. A construction loan is a tough one to get. So we've kind of tried to narrow down different products which we see will serve well for this area, for this demographics, okay?
Yeah, Stockton is building quite a bit.
Yeah.
A lot of infill going on.
Excuse me?
A lot of infill.
A lot of infield stuff going on. At least the stuff that we see taking place. We see a lot of onesies and twosies stuff taking place. No big road track homes. Have a tendency to
steer away from that.
Yeah,
a lot of risk.
It's a lot of risk on that, But the more the smaller stuff to work with the communities, folks that want to build a home or rehab their home. But that's our niche. We're real strong.
Nice. So if you were to look into your crystal ball, no pun intended. Where do you see interest rates going? Everybody's talking about interest rates. You've been in the business or in the industry for a long time. Where do you see interest rates, and how do you think that's going to affect the market?
Good question. That's a question my CEO and myself were chatting about yesterday.
Probably a hot topic.
It is a real hot topic with us. To be really honest, Lance, I don't have for sure an exact answer for that. It's
You're like,
it's one of those things where we don't know exactly what's going to take place. But rewinding back in our arena, we do adjust our rates according to what's taking place. But in our arena, I can control those. So
speaking of that, so when you say control, the Fed has their interest rate.
Right.
Can you go below their interest rate? Wow. Don Corleone here, right?
Yeah, well, it all depends on the circumstances. It's not always beneficial to do those type of things. But we stay very competitive in the market, and I watch that real closely.
So typically when the Fed has, let's say the Fed's rate is 5%, do you tack on a little bit to that to add to your bottom line, or how does that work when you hear talking about interest rate? Because we see that on CNN, MSNBC, or all those interest rates are going up. How long does it take to affect you? Instantly, or is it a trickle down where it takes some time to get to the lending industry?
Well, in the rules, okay, so we're going to talk about rules. When rates are spoke of, there's certain rules that we have to abide by. So just not to go into it like policy, not to speak and bore you guys. There are rules that we have to follow. So if the rates change today, their letters have to be sent out to the customers and let them know, hey, that things are going to change. And that's typically, whatever non-owners and owner-occupied, all those, everything has its timeline. We look at the rates. To be really honest with you, I'll look at the rates on a day-to-day basis, and I'll price them accordingly. And what I end up doing is, if there's a rate that was offered, and it was, we honor our rates. If we offered you a rate, and the time has come to where you need an extension, or we will maintain those rates. We control those rates.
Whereas with your counterparts, they're like, oh, sorry,
you don't got a rate lock.
Your rate lock expired like 2 hours ago. Yeah. Sorry.
So, I mean, in a nutshell, I do follow the rates, but I don't use those as our go-to.
Okay. Interesting.
Again, there's multiple of compensating factors that determine what your rate is going to be and what takes place.
Sounds like there's numerous benefits to a credit union. So what are the benefits of using a credit union versus a big corporation type bank?
Well, you know what? I think one of the biggest benefits that you have, and I don't know if this plays for all credit unions, I'm speaking about Premier Community Credit Union. The staff still knows who you are. And I think that plays a real big part on doing business. Remember the old-time community banks that you walk in, hey, Lance, how are you? You know? Yeah, that's what we are. That's what we are. And I'll give you a good example. Here's a real good example of how we perform. So several months ago, yes, the rates were subject to change, and we noticed them. So we offer home equity lines of credit, which in the industry, everybody knows those are adjustable.
Right.
Well, our board and us got together, and we see the rates climbing and what they're doing, and those are determined based on LIBOR or leveraged cost of funds and so on. Whatever we pull the rates from, whatever we're going to use product-wise. We reached out to our members, and we told them, hey, we want to flip you over into a fixed product. Rates are going up.
We want to make sure we take care of you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So were you inundated?
Yes, we were. Yes, we were.
Because they're sitting at home. Yes, they know interest rates are going up, and they're sweating bullets. And and they're like, oh my gosh.
And I'm only telling you that piece, Lance, because again, it goes back to who we are.
Well,
okay, it goes back to who we are and the difference again to the original.
It's not always
question.
about the bottom line. It's about taking care of you. You take care of somebody on that level, they'll be loyal to you till the end of time.
You got it. You got it. It's the biggest obstacle we have achieving that is letting them know that credit unions, or at least this credit union, is actually stepping into the real estate arena and letting them know that what we can do and what we could offer.
It's my sister-in-law. I was just talking to her the other day, and she's like, yeah, my line of credit has gone up because they had bought a house with their line of credit, and they're like, I don't know what to do. Should I refi? Or I'm like, talk to your accountant. Like, he's going to have the best answer for you. Because who knows, with the new housing tax rates and the interest deductible, it's not deductible up to this amount or not that amount. I'm like, I don't know yet. And I don't even know that all CPAs really know yet. They're like, it's all open to interpretation sometimes. Yeah. So she's like, okay. And then she's like, well, I might even just sell it. Like, talk to your CPA.
That's another option.
Right? I would love to help you, but I want what's best for you. So talk to your CPA, and then you make a decision moving forward. So Do you still offer car loans? Is that something you?
We do offer car loans. Again, we offer everything from a signature loan to visas, which, by the way, we are one of the only credit unions on this side of the Mississippi that offers a fixed rate visa.
Really?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And those rates, I'll shoot them out there right now. We got a promo going on that anything that you purchase, if you do if you transfer over from your existing credit cards, everything from moving forward will be at a 4.99 fixed. Okay, show me a credit card out there that can beat that. And I'm not talking about in 90 days that it's going to turn into a 29% interest rate.
Right? That's how they get you.
We don't bait and switch. Man,
I'm
it is what it is.
I'm going to go pull me a credit card.
So we offer stuff like that. Car loans is a real big product that we offer. To be really, really honest, on that note, a lot of the local car dealers that we work with know who we are. They know that we're notorious for sitting down with our members and giving them the scoop on what about the car and what it is and how it's going to happen and what they're buying. And that can get kind of sticky sometimes,
right.
You know. But the reality is my only concern is how I can treat our member.
So because I've bought a car before, and they have all these lenders, like, which one do you want? So do they get a kickback on certain
You're getting into
lenders?
touchy territory now. Touchy territory.
I'm not talking about you because I know you don't break the law. I was just wondering about why should they come see you first if they're going to buy a car? Or
That's a good question,
do you
Lance.
refinance as well?
We do. If I'm going to be 100% honest, I'm allergic to car loans. I'm allergic to the practices.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is the general public has this misconception of when you drive the car off the lot that it decreases in value. What a lot of people are not aware of that when it comes to consumer auto financing, banks will go up to 120, 130% of the value of the car. So any deferred interest that you may have from your previous car that you're trading in, they'll absorb it. So it's really the concept that you're not going in upside down if you have deferred. Okay, it is the thought. It is fact that we will go above what your car's worth, and that's why I say I'm allergic to it.
I see.
It's a depreciated asset.
Very fast.
So again, I hope no car dealers are watching see what's going on. But the reality is, it's the reality. It's truth. And again, these are the conversations I have with my members.
So if you're going to get a car loan, go to the Premier Community Credit Union first.
The reality is on stuff like that, you find a rate better than mine, I'll match it or beat it.
Bottom line.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You have the signing authority to do so?
Without coming off as being arrogant or anything.
Make it so. I'll make this happen.
If you're my member, you go there and they're trying to do something to you, I don't allow that. I won't allow that.
So again, the difference, Premier looks after their members.
Absolutely.
Their best interest.
Absolutely.
I love that. So switching back to the mortgage arena, what's the limit that you will lend up to? And what is the lowest you do go to? Because some lenders, if it's not $150,000, they're like, sorry, we don't touch it. Costs
Well,
too much money.
that's a wide, depending on the products. And I hate to give an answer directly, a dollar amount on that kind of stuff, because again, it depends on what type of product you're offering, and what type of product you're looking for. I can tell you right now across the board, and this is just policy, every credit union has a cap on what products they can offer. Every credit union that is a nonprofit, member-owned, the information is public.
Oh, wow.
So my net worth, you know what it is. And different products we offer, we will do, say, a percentage of what it is. So in our arena, in our game, we can do up to 10% of net worth of our credit union. So to
Okay.
be simplistic, okay, as public information, our net worth is probably 155, 165 million. Okay, so 10% of that.
So 1.6.
Yeah.
Ish.
So on anything that you want to do, that's the max that I can lend out to on an individual.
Oh wow.
Okay.
It's pretty
And
specific.
that's aggregate. So if you have a loan with this person and you have a loan with your brother and you have this, if it equals up to 1.6, that's the max. That again, those thresholds can be managed
Okay.
to what it is.
And what's the least amount you will do? Because speaking with my sister-in-law, I think she owes like 70 on her house.
Mm-hmm. Now we're talking mortgage products, or we're talking
mortgage.
50,000 on a home equity line of credit.
Okay.
We'll go into again if it's something where I gotta make a push, and something's happened with our member, and they got a good gripe about where they're at. I'll go a little lower if I need to take it.
Okay.
I'll go a little lower.
That's it. So you wouldn't do a traditional mortgage. Let's say somebody had a mortgage for 70, their home is worth 200, and they want to pay it off. Would you do a traditional mortgage, or would you do an equity line of credit and have them pay off that first?
That would be up to the member.
Okay.
That would be up to the member. I make it not a thing, as you mentioned earlier, not to give advice on finances. Okay.
Well, I'm just saying,
because we don't really know those things. You know,
I'm
we
just
can
saying
look
if that's
at
what
it.
she wanted to do, she could do that.
Right. No, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Or
To me,
sh-
you know, again, we have our general scope of policies, underwriting guidelines.
Mhm.
The reality is I'm a big compensating factor guy. Okay.
Right.
In my world, collateral is king.
Collateral.
Okay. Collateral is king. If you got a glitch or something and on your credit report or something, and you got strong collateral, I'll play ball. We'll play
Home run,
ball.
baby. Home run.
We'll play ball. Yeah.
What other products does Premier offer? Do they offer retirement? Do they offer?
What we offer
types
those type of products. We offer disability type, but we offer everything from a holiday loan, $1,000 to $1,500, which our members get every year.
Like to pay for buy Christmas presents?
Yeah, to buy Christmas presents, and then we'll flip it over in the summer and call it a vacation loan. So it just we just constantly looking for stuff that our members could use.
That's interesting.
So we'll offer that, and then I have mega church loans that we've done loans for. Yeah. So I mean, it just depends. Yeah. No.
Wow. Yeah. How much does a mega church loan look like? What's that look like?
Anything $9 million and up.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That is
anything $9 million and
insane.
up. Yeah. And we have some pretty big ones too. We have financed and participated in some pretty big churches
in California, or this where
a little bit of everywhere.
Where can you lend to?
So we are a San Joaquin community union.
Okay.
So that means live, work, or worship in the San Joaquin County. You can become a member. We don't offer these products just to anybody.
Okay.
So again, that's another one of the things that kind of caught my attention when I started looking at the credit union world.
Okay.
So it's not open for the general public. It's not open to everybody. There's got to be something. There's got to be something, you know?
Membership has its privileges.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's interesting. I didn't know that. So where else do you have branches located?
So right now, currently, we have Lodi, Stockton, and Manteca. We are gearing up, and we're looking at a bunch of locations in Tracy.
Nice.
And we're gearing up and looking at moving some additional locations in Manteca, where the growth is taking place.
Manteca is growing.
And we acquired some property locally. I'm not going to say the location.
Oh, nice.
That will be opening up additional. Opening up. I can't give a time frame.
Right.
But looking at opening up. But those moves are in the strategic plan of what we're moving forward.
When's the projection?
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming because we get a lot of that. We get
I
a lot
remember
of
Tracy
that.
was just like a little town. Now it's like so sprawled out. You're just like,
Right. Well, I reside in Stockton now, but I lived in Tracy.
Okay.
My kids all graduated from West and West High.
Okay.
So with that said, I know I have a deep root in the schools there, and they know me real well. So they're asking me all the time.
So do they know you?
When
as
are you
the
guys
good
coming
kid?
here? You know,
As the good kid or the bad kid? How do they know?
no, we're good kids. Good kids. Good kids. Thank God.
Let me talk to your teachers. I'm sure there's a few.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
So in the near future, and again, our near future is typically, a year or so.
Year or so?
We're looking.
Nice.
We're really aggressive. We're actually in the talks with contractors and locations.
Nice, man. Well, we're gonna have to come back to the real estate.
I'm okay with that.
So you do real estate as well?
I do. I do practice real estate as well, but I don't practice. I try not to practice in the area. I'm not a full-time agent, but
Right.
I am an agent.
And how does that help you or hinder you in being the vice president?
Well, I don't. One of the things that it hinders me is my relationships with realtors and so on. Your relationship and mine is a little unique.
Yes.
Because as my position, they typically, it's frowned upon decision makers to be hanging out. You know what I'm saying?
Fraternizing.
Right. So it's a little. So I well known in the industry, Tracy area. I know a lot of the older hitters that've been in the game, the real estate game, going back 15, 20 years. But as much as I want to get out and
People
mingle,
cute.
it's a catch-22 for me.
So do you do flip loans? Do you go offer flip loans?
Yes, I do. We do offer stuff like that. Again, it needs to make sense. It needs to make sense to me. It needs to make sense to me. It needs to make sense to me.
And you have experience in that realm, so you know when somebody's trying to blow smoke.
I know flips really well. I myself flip homes as well.
Okay.
So I do. Again, I owned a real estate company for a long time prior to
venturing into banking.
Right, but I've always been a lender. That's
Okay.
been my strong suit.
Yeah, because back in the day, you could do both.
Yeah. I was not one of those.
I know. It's like you're a lender, you're real estate, you're life insurance agent, you're homeowners insurance agent, you're auto insurance agent. I mean, people did everything.
Yeah, no, one-stop shop. One-stop shop.
It was crazy. So how do people find Premier Community Credit Union?
So right now, you can look us up online. Obviously, we're there. We're going through some major changes right now, infrastructure-wise. So we're revamping our websites. We're revamping our technology and making everything, trying to keep up with these changes. Changes. It's moving a lot faster than what it used to before. So that's getting a little more. We're enhancing, working on that. But if you go online and look us up, you'll find us. We have a mobile site also you can go onto by your phone, and it's premiercommunity.org.
Okay.
You can just look us up, and if you're looking for a loan, if you just have any general questions about who we are and what we do, feel free to reach out.
Is there a phone number they could just call?
I don't know that number offhand. That's a good question. That's a general question. I know my private number, my direct number, but I don't want to give you that one.
Hey, but, I need a loan.
Yeah, I know we have 800 numbers, and I know we have local numbers, but thanks you for asking me that question.
You should have said, don't ask me your phone
But in
number.
my defense, do you know your wife's phone number?
Yeah.
By heart? You do?
Yeah.
See, I don't. I just, my phone,
But
if I lose my phone, I don't know
done.
nobody's phone number.
I don't know my kids' numbers.
You don't?
But this was before, the whole phone, really, the phone book was really organized. So, shoot, I've had my number for almost 20 years. So
Oh, wow. How
I've been
funny.
Married almost.
Yeah,
long,
that's
so.
you and me long timers. I've been in a relationship myself for 25 or so. So long term, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
It's a good thing. So thank you everybody for tuning in, and join me next week when we are going to have a new sheriff in town, Pat Withrose are going to be our new sheriff. He's going to be on my show. We're going to be talking about what's in store for Stockton and the San Joaquin County. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And remember, yes, you can with Lance McCann.